Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. This is Sabine from zennumerostar.com. Today's video is your SP will conform to whatever script you decide on. This video is inspired by a client of mine I talked to last Friday, as she was telling me, I don't get it. I keep thinking a certain way, but my SP still behaves differently from what I think. Something must be wrong. So this is what she said. So this could happen to you. So this can help you on your journey. Okay, I'll call my client Julia. She's French, by the way, even though my French website is not as complete as the English one. I'm growing my client list quite a lot in France and French-speaking countries overall. Anyway, I will approach this video by three angles. First, I will explain to you the context, then I will explain to you what happened for her to experience her current story and what she can do to correct it. I will also talk about the notion of everybody is you pushed out. That is not always clearly understood. Okay, so here we go. Julia is 46 years of age. She dated her guy for a couple of years in the past, and the pandemic just made communication less and less active to the point where her SP stopped communicating. In other words, they didn't have a real breakup, they haven't screamed at each other, nor anything of the sort. The relationship just paused for what she believes is due to the pandemic. Her SP and herself were not living together in the past, and they are living in different regions. So this is the context. Now, in order for you to understand exactly what she was thinking about, let's talk about it. In her words, she was imagining her guy and herself living together under the same roof and being happy together. She had a couple of affirmations saying things like, my SP, well, she gave the name, adores me and all he wants is to be with me. And she had another one saying, I'm happy to be adored by such a great man. I asked her why she thought that the pandemic was responsible for the current status of the relationship, and she answered that she could find no other explanation when she analyzed her situation. I asked her what she felt, and she said that she felt hopeless and worried because she had no idea what she could do to make him come back. So this is overall what we're dealing with. There are so many things to say and do that I'll try to be brief. Obviously, I spent 1 hour with Julia, so I cannot sum up in 2 minutes, but I'll try to be concise nonetheless. So this is aspect number 2, or angle number 2, if you like. So let me tell you now where she might have gone wrong. And by the way, being wrong is not a problem. As long as you understand what you're doing, you can quickly readjust and off you go on your merry way. So don't worry about it. Anyway, number 1, the way she visualized her relationship had no real action. The way she was telling me about it was more like a dream than something real. When I asked her about it, she explained to me that she didn't know how to go about it because she had never lived together. They had never lived together, her and her SP, and she had never lived with an SP before. Number 2, her affirmations are on the surface, meaning that her affirmations could apply to anyone and are meaningless to her. I asked her about her second affirmations that says, I'm happy to be adored by such a great man. And she answered that it was what she could see on YouTube videos, and so she had applied it. This is not the best move, and we'll see in the last aspect why and how she can reformulate. Number 3, the way she thought that the pandemic was responsible means that her relationship will not improve anytime soon. As a reminder, here in France, our every move is being monitored, and soon a pass will come to light, apparently, to be produced if you want to travel by train and plane or whatever. Plus, obviously, that the fact that she put a responsibility outside of her thoughts and her energy is obviously not the right place to look. And number 4, the way she feels shows that she looks at her situation, at the circumstances, instead of thinking about the relationship that she wants to experience. So you see, those 4 major aspects need to be improved. I could have listed some more, but I have decided to focus on those 4 with you. Now, my client is excellent at being self-disciplined, so I know that she will succeed in everything that I've asked her to do. So let's take the 4 points I've just mentioned to see what you could do instead if you are living a similar situation. Number 1, just to remind you, it was Julia visualizing. So what she could do would be to visualize her relationship and add realistic aspects, such as the way she will feel as they have breakfast together, for instance, and how much fun they will have as they are invited at her parents' on a Sunday. Number 2, her affirmations were meaningless. So we've worked out different affirmations along her inner conversations. If you want your affirmations to mean something to you, one tip I can give you is to say things like, I like it when, or it makes me feel so, when, and fill the blank. Another tip I will give you now is to start with an affirmation around your self-concept and why you have the potential or the power to always manifest what you want, or why you are getting towards your relationship. The thing is, if you affirm straight away around what you want and you feel that you're lying to yourself or that it is not even possible, having an affirmation about you knowing how to manifest is enough to reassure your primary brain, which is always what you should aim at from the start. Now, number 3 and 4 are linked. So number 3 was the way that she thought the pandemic was responsible, and number 4, it was the way she felt. So both show or indicate that Julia was giving way too much importance to her circumstances, meaning that she was letting her thoughts being influenced by her circumstances instead of being herself the leader of her thoughts. Now, I didn't ask her to minimize or ignore her physical world, but I asked her to dedicate her thoughts to the life she wanted with her SP, irrespective of what she could see or not see in that respect in the meantime. Now, she still wasn't convinced that her SP would be back, because she couldn't grasp the notion of everybody is you pushed out, especially now with all the restrictions that we as a community are instructed to observe, and those restrictions come from one man alone. So she genuinely believed that there was no way on earth her thoughts could have the power to influence her SP. But everybody is you pushed out is not you obliging someone to behave a certain way. This is called slavery. No, everybody is you pushed out is you changing your own thoughts so that others can behave accordingly. Not because they don't exist or are a puppet of some kind, but because everything is energy, and you being the only person in your quantum bubble, people in relation to you and your quantum bubble can only conform to your energy, meaning to your thoughts and the way you feel. So a word on that. If you force yourself into thinking that your SP loves you and adores you and all the rest, but you feel in your heart that it is not possible because of the last conversation you had or whatever, your thoughts will become powerless. If you feel that you are the leader within your quantum bubble and therefore believe that there is a chance that your SP and yourself are going to be in a wonderful relationship, and if on top of it you don't care about what you see or hear in the meantime, you are guaranteed to experience just that. One tip I will give you now, because I was feeling guilty to push thoughts or instructions outside of me and see people conforming, was that I quickly decided to only think of a win-win situation. For my SP, for instance, that came with my self-concept, and I've had to work at it because I was highly insecure before, and I felt I was obliging him in a way to be with me, and I hated myself for that. The minute I worked on myself and understood that I was what I could bring to the table in that relationship, it became natural, and I even felt happy for him that I had decided that he was the lucky one to live with me. Obviously, I'm now going to quickly remind you that I have a course on self-concept, another one specifically to your affirmations, inner conversations and inner story, and another one on how you can eliminate your resistance and experience what you want. A word on the pricing, however. I've recently had a lady who purchased my affirmation course. She said she liked it a lot and therefore would buy the other twos. Now, this would be like a bundle, but not all of you have the budget right now for a bundle. So, if you buy one course, then another one, and you want to buy the third one, by all means, please email me because I will give you the discounted price as if you had bought the bundle. And that's it for today from me. If you liked it, please remember to leave it a thumbs up. I know you can do it. I do believe in you. So on that note, happy manifesting.